Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Good afternoon on the national news from Baba Bagide Imo Television. First, the headlines. Anger as Soyinka fires first shot at Peter Obi and followers. ASUU parents protest as more varsities hike fees. Wesley University slashes tuition fee by 50%. Land grabbers violent return to Lagos leaves trail of blood and death. Abducted pastor mistaken as kidnapper killed in Ogun Forest. And on sports, the Tigers ranked 11th in the world. Afro basketball champion move up 7th spot. I am Morire Lawa. The news shortly. Some followers of Peter Obi, known as Obedient, are currently tackling Nobel laureate Professor Wole Soyinka on social media. Soyinka, who had a face-off with Obedient in the build-up of the general elections, fired first shot at Labour Party presidential candidate on Wednesday. He said that the Labour Party was aware that Obi did not win the February 25th election. Soyinka stated this while speaking at the 2023 Africa in the World, which brought together the world's most innovative thinkers and top leaders to platform invigorating ideas for fresh changes and sustainable solutions for African people. It started on Tuesday, September 12th, and it's scheduled to end on Saturday, September 16, 2023, in Stellenbosch, South Africa. In March, the Nobel laureate had disagreed with the comments credited to the LP vice presidential candidate, Datti Baba Ahmed, shortly after INEC declared President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the winner of the presidential election. In the program, Baba Ahmed asked former President Muhammadu Buhari and the then Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Kayode Ariwoola, to stay away from the May 29 annual ceremony because of the poor conduct of the election by the Independent National Electoral Commission. The party has vowed to take its opposition to the outcome of the election to the Supreme Court following the dismissal of its petition by the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal last week. At Wednesday event, Soyinka lamented that the LP leadership had been trying to mobilize young people in the country to protest against the outcome of the election on the banner of lies and deceit. Although the playwright accused the party of taking over the organized labor movement before the election, however, he commended Obi for breaking the dominions of the All Progressive Congress (APC) and the People's Democratic Party (PDP). This recent election, two things happened. First of all, one party took over the labor movement, which is not my favorite movement, and then it became a regional party. I can say categorically that Peter Obi's party came third, not even second, and the leadership knew it, but they went to do what we call a Yoruba Bajure, that is a force of lies. They were going to send some of the headliners, proud young people, into the streets to demonstrate. I'm also ready to be amongst such demonstrators, but only on the banner of truth, not on lies and deceit. To the next story. As tertiary institutions across the country begin a new session next week, the Academic Staff Union of Universities, parents and students started protests as more varsities continue to hike their fees amid a worsening economy. ASUU, as well as the associations of parents and students, warned about the likelihood of mass dropout of students following the hikes in fees by the universities across the country. The union was worried about the development, just as apprehensive parents expressed concerns over the implication of the fee hike for their children and wards in public tertiary institutions. The national president, ASUU, Professor Emmanuel Oshodeke, frowned on the fee increases, noting that the university is not a profit-making commercial center. The management of Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, Osun State, announced a new school fee regime on Wednesday. The decision, according to a communique released by the university's public relations officer, Abiodun Olariwaju, was taken by the school senate at its emergency meeting held on Tuesday. The statement disclosed that fresh students in the faculties of Arts, Law, and Humanities will pay $151,200, while returning students of the same faculties would pay $89,200. Information checks indicated that returning students in the faculties of Arts Law and Humanities as the last academic session paid 20,100 naira. The management of a faith-based university, the Wesley University, Ondo Town in Ondo State, has announced the reduction of its tuition fees by 50%. The institution said the development was part of its efforts towards contributing to the development of humankind. The Vice Chancellor of the university, Professor Samuel Obeka, disclosed this on Monday in a statement made available to correspondents on ground. According to him, the 50% discount in tuition fees is for some of the programs in the Department of Natural and Applied Sciences, Education, Agriculture, Finance and Investment, and Economics of the institution. The VC explained that the affected programs are very significant to national development but are not well subscribed to by students due to their high tuition fees and assumed abstract or ambiguous nature. Moving on to Lagos. The menace of land grabbing is one that has hidden deep into the fabric of Lagos society for several years, yet with no end in sight. Popularly called Omonile, landowners' children, land grabbers operate with reckless abandon in Lagos State such that several residents believe that they must have the backing of some persons in authority in carrying out their nefarious activities. Most often than not, land grabbers invade building construction sites with different kinds of dangerous weapons to either extort site workers, laborers, or chase them away from the site with charms and claims that the piece of land upon which they are working belongs to someone else. The Jediable land grabbers are also in the business of forcibly taking over landed properties from rightful owners and reselling them to higher bidders. In some cases, benevolent ones among the land grabbers may relocate another piece of land in an entirely different location to the victim of their illegal act. Activities of land grabbers in Lagos did not just end with the forceful taking over of landed properties. These weapon-bearing assailants also beat, batter, dehumanize, and even kill the victims without remorse. In recent times, the spate of violent land-grabbing activities has increased in Lagos State, resulting in the instant crisis in some areas of the state, especially in Lekki, Ibeju, Lekki, and Ekwe, among others. Among these was a case of an alleged killing of a late traditional ruler of Lotu Town in the Ibeju, Lekki area of Lagos State, Fatai Jubril, who was alleged to have been shot dead over a land dispute in the area on July 15, 2023. Back to Ogun State. The family of a pastor, Adeni Adisa, a chartered accountant, has demanded for justice over the murder of their son, whom they allege died in the hands of some youth and the police in Ogun State. Information gathered that the father of 5 was kidnapped on June 24th as he returned from a visit to a friend in the Yotomi area, Owodieba area of the state. The deceased, who was the general manager of VGC Water in Lekki, Lagos, was held hostage by his abductors for several days until his body was eventually found deposited outside a morgue in Ogun State. He was buried in the battle on July 8, 2023. However, the deceased's younger brother, Musliu Adisa, informed that Adeni was murdered by some Irish youth in Abuleuri community and some security operatives who forcefully labeled him a kidnapper. It was learned that due to the delay in the money expected from the abductors, took him into bush close to a church where they were attacked. They were said to have abandoned him and went to attack the church, where they killed the pastor during a mid-year night vigil before policemen and the state SOSAFE called upon by church members arrived at the scene. However, Muslims said the police and corps pursuing the kidnappers found a frail Adisa in the same bush and mistook him as one of the kidnappers, following which he was killed. Muslim added, "My brother married 2 wives, I beg your pardon, and had 5 children, I beg your pardon. And his first wife, Temilade Adisa, who had 3 children, was married to him till death. He had 2 children with his second wife, Bukola, but they later divorced." Going on to the next story. A lecturer at the Captain Elechi Amadi Polytechnic, Port Harcourt, Solomon Temino Toye, has raised the alarm over the continued seizure of his salaries running to 20 months by the institution's management. The management of the Polytechnic had, in a statement by its registrar, Chris Owoke, slammed a 3-month suspension on the lecturer over alleged harassment and exploitation of a 200-level female student identified as Blessing Audu. The Polytechnic later referred the lecturer's case to a committee for investigation and recommendations. But speaking with correspondent, the lecturer expressed annoyance that the management had written to him months after to resume work and tendered a written apology without disclosing to him or make public commits to people. The lecturer, who is of the Department of Public Administration, however, explained that following his refusal to write an apology letter and insisting that the allegations against him were false, the management stopped payment of his salary since then. They put the false allegation with a caption of sexual harassment against a student with my name in the media. Based on that, they suspended me for 3 months and set up a committee to investigate the matter. 5 months after the setting up of that investigative panel and the conclusion of that investigation, they refused to release the report of the committee. Rather, they wrote to me to resume work and write an apology letter to the management. Continuing, he said, I actually resumed work but refused to write an apology letter because I have not seen the need for an apology letter because I didn't commit the offense I was accused of. From that last story from the institution aspect, we'll go to the sports story to end today's national news. The Tigers moved up 7 spots in the latest FIBA rankings released today, September 13, 2023. I beg your pardon, yesterday. After their impressive performance at the recently concluded 2023 FIBA Women's Afro Basketball Championship, the Tigers are one of the highest movers in the rankings. The Tigers are now 11th in the world with a total of 528.9 points based on the rankings released by FIBA. The top 10 in the world include the United States of America, China, Australia, Spain, Canada, Belgium, France, Brazil, Japan, and Serbia. The Tigers from Nigeria defeated Senegal 84-74 in Kigali, Rwanda, to become the first team to win 4 consecutive FIBA Women's Afro Basketball titles in the previous 40 years. The Tigers of Nigeria not only won the African Championship for the 4th time in a row, but they also were undefeated 5-0. That means the Tigers have won their last 24 Afro basketball games, with the last defeat in the semi-final of the 2015 edition in Yaoundé, Cameroon. The latest FIBA ranking jumps for the Tigers comes after WNBA star Liz Cambridge trended for a monkey comment against the Tigers of Nigeria. With a sports story from the basketball angle, we've come to the end of today's national news. Before we go, some headlines. Anger as Soyinka fires first shot at Peter Obi and followers. ASUU parents protest as more varsities hike fees. Concerning subsidy, Wesley University slashes tuition fee by 50%. We also brought to you land grabbers violent return to Lagos, leaves trail of blood and death. And on sports, Nigeria's Tigers ranked 11 in the world. Afro basketball champions move up 7 spots in the rankings. For more updates of our broadcast on YouTube, our handle is Baba Gbagede Imo Television. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell. Select option all to access all of our broadcasts. On Facebook, Gbagede Imo with Alawiye Adebayo. Please like and follow the page. For advertisement for goods and services, coverage of events and functions, please dial the phone number streaming on your screen. Thank you for watching. I am Morire Rabila Lawa. Good afternoon.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.